I hate presentations, so I'm going to be doing my culminating assessment in a vlog because I talk better than I write sometimes. So the documentary that I chose was Chaos, the Manson Murders, made by Errol Morris. The documentary is about Charles Manson, how he convinced them to do these heinous murders without even knowing them. The whole documentary just really talks about that. There's a lot of really cool things the director did that I thought were really different from other documentaries. One thing I saw is that with other documentaries that I've watched and that I've analyzed, oftentimes they go for a widescreen and they use all of the screen, or they do just a square when they're presenting photos or videos. They don't really do anything special with the cropping. This documentary, they crop it to where it's a square in the middle, and I just thought that that was really cool. It made the videos a lot more interesting to look at, and I've only seen, they do this for almost every single video with Charles Manson in it, and I think it just makes the whole scene look a lot better, and it gives it that really old kind of vibe that they're going for with a lot of the scenes, because scenes that I can tell that they've recorded after the fact also have that kind of grainy texture, but these videos have that grainy texture and that cropping, and I think it just adds onto the whole theme that they're going for so well. The way that they present their information, they would use these almost like robotic zooming noises, and they would zoom in on photos and they would zip around the screen, and it almost looked like as if they were using newspaper clippings for this. Things looked cut out, almost like a scrapbook is how they organize things. They have a consistent color theme with all of their stuff, so it's either red and gray or blue and white, and they maintain this except for shots that are recorded in person. They use those two color schemes throughout the entire thing, and they use them to contrast each other in a way, and they oftentimes reverse colors. So if the background in something was white and the text was red, then the text would be gray and the background would be red. Same thing with the blue and the white. One thing that I saw them use is that, similar with the sketchbook and newspaper aspect, they would use highlighting, and they would highlight certain areas. So at first the highlights were white background, black text, blue highlight. Then it became blue background, black text, white highlight. A lot of things in this are really, really big on contrast, and I think it helps give the audience a lot more of a panicked or frazzled state, because they zip through things fast enough to where you're a little bit confused and like grasping at pieces, but not fast enough to where you can't comprehend what they're saying. I think that ties into how they're trying to make you feel about the Manson murders and how he would have made you feel if you were in the people that he manipulated space. Adding on to the contrasting bit, a lot of things in this documentary are very contrasting. One thing I noticed is that in a scene with an interview from a writer, they had the screen split half and half like they do with a lot of the other scenes. They had a shot of the person that they were interviewing from one point in the interview, so the camera would be here, and then the second video would be at the same point in the interview, but from behind the person or to the other side of the person. And I just thought that that was really cool, and they would place them side by side, and it would look as if almost the person was talking to themselves because of how the shots were faced. They follow this a lot with the same person. They also used really far away shots and then switched it in the next shot to a close-up, giving this like really contrasting parallel scenes, and it helps give to the moodiness that they're trying to create with these scenes. Adding on to the mood, the lighting that they use is extremely intentional. With some scenes with interviewees, they have really, really dark, almost low-key lighting, where all the light is on the person in the front, but everything else in the back is almost pitch black to where you can't see their surroundings. But with another person, they will have the room almost filled with either fill lighting or natural lighting from windows and curtains. This contrast kind of has a play on, oh, is this person bad and this person good? Like, what's happening here? What role do these people play? The sound that they use is also really intentional. They're really, really big on sound effects. With the sketchbook and newspaper thing that they use to demonstrate the murders, they also have sounds of scribbling pens, scribbling pencils, pages flipping, newspapers being crumpled, stuff like that, that really immerses you into the scene and allows you to immerse yourself with the information a lot more. Everything that they're doing with these scenes are trying to make you feel frazzled and confused. It's trying to make you feel more emotion than you would if you were just presented with the information. It's very unique from other documentaries, which makes it stand out to the audience and say, I've never seen this before. Even though I've watched another documentary or a podcast or a video about the same exact thing, the way that they present the information in this allows for the audience to really lock in on what they're saying and get a more heightened experience. Overall, the things that they use in the documentary are used to incite emotion and better inform the audience. I think that the way that they go about it is really interesting, and there's a lot more editing aspects in this entire documentary than in actually filming. Of course, they probably spent as much time in interviewing and making questions as they did in editing all the other shots, but the amount of time that they spent on editing is really, really shown with how unique everything is. And one thing I forgot to say was that one thing that they do different from other documentaries is that typically documentaries with still images, they have a zoom or something, or a pan, or like a sliding emotion to add more emotion into those still images. But with this documentary, they have so much movement with the way that they explain their information that when they show still images, they make them not move because they have too much moving information. I thought that was kind of contrasting from other documentaries.